play so many guys minutes after the last game when some of the starters, played heavy minutes? What's the value in that in a game like this?
I think it's really important because those guys deserve it. I think I made a big mistake the other night not playing the bench more. I thought down the stretch we weren't able to get stops against Marquette because I just kept guys out there too long. So no matter what, I was going to make a conscious effort of making sure we got to the bench.
And then starting Rodney for Deshaun.
Yeah, Rodney. It was. I've been thinking about it for a while with this team because Rodney protects the big guys a little bit better than Deshaun. But we were struggling a little bit in the second 10 minutes of every half because Jay was going out there and he was the only ball handler out there, and he was working hard, but he was just getting stuck with the ball every single time, and I needed another point guard out there. And for me, it just made more sense to be able to put the ball in Deshaun's hands, let him be able to make plays with the basketball on the break where he's really good. Give him a little bit more time with the ball than off the ball, and we've worked. That's how we practice. So it wasn't. I was never getting to that in the game because of starting him. So it was just a simple. Let's protect the big guys with Rodney, and let's protect the second unit and give Deshaun a better chance of being successful by putting the ball in his hands.
Forcing 8 turnovers in their first, I think, 10 possessions. How much did that kind of set the tone?
You know what? We didn't practice very good on Sunday. Everybody's feelings were really hurt. I let them have a bad Sunday, and then we came back yesterday and practiced really good yesterday. We were very spirited. We were very focused, and I thought that first group, that first possession, we went into Julian right away because we just didn't give him the ball enough. And again, a new team trying to get used to who to throw to, when to throw it to. And I thought Julian set the whole tempo with we threw it in. He didn't rush it. He kicked it out. We got a wide open 3. Even though we didn't make it, I really thought that set the tone because I was on the team when we watched film on Sunday about getting the basketball into Julian Reese. And so for me to make the conscious effort to throw it in the first possession, and then for him to kick it back out after he didn't get that many touches, I just thought he set the tone being unselfish. And then defensively, they make a prayer in the first possession, but it was as good a defensive possession as you could have to start the half. So I just thought we kind of got them on their heels right away.
Hey, Coach, just wanted to ask what you saw from the new starting lineup, what you like.
We really nothing that much drastic. I mean, we started off against Florida Atlantic, 15-0, and we started out today good. Again, I think the biggest thing is just I think we're able to space the floor out a little bit better. Rodney's obviously a very willing shooter, where Deshaun's much more of a willing passer. So now when you have, obviously Jacoby, who's shooting a very high percentage, Selton, who's a very good shooter, and now Rodney, you have 3 guys who are ready to pull the trigger, where Deshaun's a much more, I'm going to try to make the next pass guy. I thought it put a little bit more pressure on their defense.
And then you guys are playing, I think it's 5 or 6 sub-300 KenPom teams, the soft non-conference. What do you take away from games like those or against opponents?
I don't know. Manhattan beat Fordham. So sometimes KenPom's full of shit.
Kevin, first off, how's Jordan doing?
Jordan's fine. He bruised his. He had a slight bruise yesterday in practice. He could have played. I watched him in warm-ups and was just kind of like, we got Villanova, Bucknell, Alcorn, and then Big Ten play coming up. So it was more a little bit more. That was when I say game time decision, I didn't make the decision until about the last minute. But he's okay.
And then with Jay and with Malachi, 2 guys at different ends of the experience spectrum, just what do you feel like they can get out of a game like this, and how much do you think they are a factor for you moving forward?
Yeah, I mean, I think, our schedule is the same as everyone's schedule. You play these games and you play Marquette's because you got to get tested and see what you have to work on, and then you play these games because you have a really, really good young player like Malachi Palmer that needs game experience. And the more Malachi's out there, the more everyone's seeing how good of a player he is and how active he is. So, and Jalen's a great leader. He's he's a very mature young man that knows who he is and is very comfortable in his own skin. And I think he's great. He's great for Malachi. Excuse me, I apologize.
Kevin, a few instances where we saw Selton get really aggressive, sort of just trying to create his own shot. I know slightly slow start to the season, just coming off the injury, but what have you seen from him as he's gotten maybe a little more comfortable?
Yeah, Selton's still trying to figure everything out. I think he'll get more and more comfortable. I think he'll get better and better as the year goes on. I think he's, came off the bench last year, and now he's starting, and whole new team. More for him being off the ball is a little bit more of a learning process and a little bit more of